Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Respected viewers, we are with the program Deepath and I am Dr. Aslam Khaki with you. The topic of the day is beliefs versus superstitions. The great scholar Aristotle has classified the speeches and rhetorical explanation in three classes. One is that those explanations or the narratives, even the speeches which are based upon the personality of the speaker. He says that these are called as pathos, and then as ethos, in which the person is convinced by the person who is the speaker or by the people who are there, and he has convincing for those people. And then is the pathos. Pathos is that form of explanation or speeches in which the presentation of the content is very much important. A man very you can say cleverly and very skillfully explain the thing by his voice, by his presentation, by giving examples, by the pitch of his and the pitch and volume of his narrations and his speech. As we see that many people are popular as a preacher who just even entertain the people with their presentation, with their voice, with their low and all that. Even we see that even in the poems and in the singers and in the people in the positive side, in the qari, they have very good voice and the you can vocal applications which make the people just convinced that it is a good explanation, rather a good presentation. The third one explanation or the narrative which convinces the people is logos. Logos is the statement or the just presentation in which the people get convinced by the narrations or by those speech or by the presentation on the basis of the arguments presented by the speaker or in that statements, the arguments. So, here we can differentiate between the beliefs and the superstition. So, as far as ethos is concerned, in which the people are convinced by the narration or by the customs, by the culture or by the rituals of the people whom they have sympathy or they have love for them. Particularly, as we explained earlier, the people are convinced with their culture, with their ancestors. So, they are convinced by their culture and ancestors. So, whatever the things are there or practices are there in their culture, they accept it blindly. They do not need or they do not even require any argument in support of those culture, in support of those practices. This is an ethos concept. So, this is another dimension of that. And in the pathos, we say that the people just present beautifully their ideas and they are just accepted by the people on the basis of their beautiful presentation and not on the basis of the quality or truthfulness of their presentation or the content of that presentation. The third one which we explain is, and which is a very much important for the Islamic belief, is the logos, that with the argument you just convince the people that here are the argument, here is the evidence. I am not a personality to be accepted, I am not a peer for you, I may not be your one of the ancestors or I may not follow your culture, but here are the arguments for the truthfulness of my statement or of my preacher. Quran goes with the third level. Quran does not go with the first or the second level, because the first level is practiced by the non-Muslims whenever they were asked to follow the revelation or follow the ahkam of God. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ اتَّبِعُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ قَالُوا بَلْ نَتَّبِعُ مَا أَلْفَيْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا. When they are asked to follow Quran Almighty, this Quran, the sacred book, they said, no, we would follow our ancestors. So, this is the ethos. Quran gives the evidences in support of his truthfulness. Even the Holy Prophet ﷺ, at the first time when he declared his prophethood, he gave the evidence to the people that قَدْ لَبِسْتُ فِيكُمْ عُمَرًا هَلْ وَجَدْتُمُونِي صَادِقًا أَوْ كَاذِبًا. Oh, the people who had gathered at that time, I have just lived a long life with you. You tell them that have you found me Sadiq and Amin, the truthful and the honest? They all said, yes, you are Sadiq and Amin. Then the Prophet said, if you believe in my this conduct of the many years, maybe and that was about 40 years, that I have never have been dishonest. I have never told any lie. So, believe me, now what I am declaring is that I have been is also truth, that I have been bestowed prophethood. Then again Quran again and again says, Sanurihim ayatina fil afaqi wa fi anfusihim hatta yatabayyana lahum annahu al-haq, that we would just continue showing them the evidence so that they get convinced that Quran or the ahkam of Allah are truthful. Again says good. In kuntum fi raybin min al-ba'thi fa inna khalaqnakum min turabin thumma min nutfatin, a long series of the developmental stage of the biological stages of the man takhliq. Then again in kuntum fi raybin mimma nazalna ala abdina fatu bi suratin min misli. If you have a doubt that this is not a revelation from Allah Almighty, or Na'uz Billah, the Holy Prophet has concocted these ayat for us, then we have a challenge for you that you should create the same ayat or few ayat of that type, because if they are man-made, you are better rhetorically or good poet or good writer, you can create it. So, if you can't create it, then you should believe it that it is from God Almighty. So, in that logic, we see that Quran has given always the evidences. Alam tara anna Allah anzala minas samai. Did you not see that God has revealed, or God has showered the water from the rain and has just irrigated the land and has just grown the fruit and the vegetables and all those crops. That is also the science. In the logic, then there are 4 steps. One is called the belief. The other is called the, you can send zan, yaqeen. First is called yaqeen or the belief. And the second level is zan, that is the guess. When you have some evidence, but that evidence is not conclusive. Then you have the doubt, that is the shak. When there is 50-50% chances of being a thing or existence of a thing. Then the 4th level is of superstition, that is vahm. When there is no evidence in favor of existence or truthfulness of a thing, but we believe in it without any evidence, that is called a superstition. So, in the belief, we see that Quran again and again says that then there is ilmul yaqeen and there is ainul yaqeen. Ilmul yaqeen is that you just get the belief on the basis of the evidence provided to you, and ainul yaqeen is that you do not believe the knowledge, you do not go with the evidence, rather you say that, oh, when I will see it, then I would believe it. As Quran says, summa latarawunnaha ainal yaqeen, that on the day of judgment, then you will see whatever we are just directing you or just making it clear in this world, you will see it with your eyes, then you would have a ilmul yaqeen. But at that time, you would have no option to go back and have the good deeds. So, these are the 4 levels, 4 things. So, this is what we have to analyze it, that whatever we are believing is whether it is a belief or whether it is a zan, that presumptive evidence is there, some evidence is there, but not it is a conclusive, that is a guess. As Quran says, in yattabi'una illa zan, that these people just follow not the yaqeen, but they are following the guesswork. They have a little evidence in their favor, but they ignore the conclusive evidence or the strong evidence which is against their belief or against their statements. They ignore it, but they follow the weak evidence, that is called the zan. And then is the raib. Zalikal kitabu la raiba fihi, that this is the book, the Quran has no doubt, there is no evidence to the contrary. There is no evidence against the truthfulness of this Quran. And this vahm is when there is no evidence or no chances of existence of a thing. As if I am in the classroom, if I am in the jungle and somebody tells me that there is a snake, I have seen it, I would believe him or on the circumstantial evidence, because the environment of the desert or jungle just suggests that this is the habitat of the snakes. But if I am in the bedroom or in the classroom and it is well organized class, there is no chances of coming of snake, and somebody feels fear and he says, oh, some snake may come and it may bite me. So, that he is in a superstition, because there is no such evidence, there is no chances of coming of a snake as there are chances of coming it or being in existence in the jungle. So, these are the things which we can analyze it and we can see whether our beliefs. And then there is a difference between, as Aristotle said, and it is again that we have emotional attachment with our beliefs, and when we have emotional attachment without argument, then this becomes aqidat. We say aqidah and aqidat. There is a difference between aqidah and aqidat. Aqidah, or the firm belief, is established on the pedestal of arguments, while the aqidat is not established on the basis of arguments or scientific reasoning or logic. Rather, it is believed on your emotional attachment with that beliefs or with those ahkam. So, in the life we see that the people are mostly have the aqidat and not aqidah. They do not explore the evidence behind that ahkam or the beliefs in which they believe. Rather, they have emotional attachment. Number one is that it is the religion or the faith of my ancestors. If a person is Muslim, he will say, I am a Muslim, so it's my aqidah. If within the Muslim intra-religion, we say somebody belongs to one sect, the other to the other sect, the other to the third sect, every sect follower is believing in his sectarian beliefs or the rituals or the sectarian culture on the basis of his sacred attachment with that ahkam and not basis of the argument. Had it been the so, as some person said, that aqidat is based upon the emotional attachment, had it been the truth, then the people would have not worshipped the idols. They know that these idols, we have just made them with our hands and they can't give any harm to us or any benefit to us. But practically they worship it because they have a firm emotional attachment. Same case is with the other people, even the Muslims or the Christian, even the Christian scientists, who are the great scientists, analyze each and everything on the basis of scientific discipline and scientific evidence and the logic. But when they enter their worship places, they ignore all those scientific reasoning and then they bow and they believe what is the belief of Trinity or all that which is not acceptable on the basis of the scientific reasoning or the logical reasoning. Same case with the Muslims. We know that our aqidat is also based sometime on the basis of our emotional sacred attachment with some personalities. I am following some aqidah because my peer says so, that because my sectarian big leadership just suggest me so that, and they have just preached that. So, I believe in my preacher, I believe in my forefathers, I believe in the leadership of my religion on the basis that I have emotional attached with them or I have inherited them, but I have never applied my own logic or argument. Had we applied the arguments, had we applied the logic, then we had become to the same and common beliefs, then there would have been no sectarian disparity, all would have come to the same conclusion. As the scientists, they apply the scientific reasoning, scientific evidence. So, whether a scientist is Russian or American, whether he is a Christian or a Muslim or the Jew, all the scientists, after their scientific experiments and scientific evidence, come to the same conclusion, despite their disparity in other political or international rifts and conflict, but because the belief is not aqidat but aqidah based upon their arguments, scientific experiments, they come to the same law. As the Newton has the same law, action and reaction are equal but opposite in direction. Acceleration 32 feet per second or 90.81 meter per second acceleration. All the scientists believe in it. They do not differ, oh, I am American, I should differ with him. So, because they have the belief in the scientific process, in the beliefs, in the laws which are based upon arguments. Thank you very much.